Well, our markets may have made a new high, but as far as Nifty is concerned, it's been a very, very quiet day of trade. In fact, rather range bound. However, still holding on to the 9,500 mark. Shraddha, we've closed at a relatively higher note, of course, as compared to yesterday, considering a 13-point gain. But what does the intraday chart look like?
Absolutely, Akam. So the Nifty index continues to trade higher despite trading the narrow point. So what we've been really seeing is that every day there is a movement which is range bound, but slowly and steadily we are moving up. So the sequence of higher tops and higher bottoms, of course, continues to qualify as an uptrend. But coming back to the intraday chart, even while the Nifty index continued to swing between gains, minor gains and losses, it managed to end about 13 points higher, holding on to 9,500 levels. Once again, it was the large caps that was leading the rally today. We're also here with Sameet Chavan, the Chief Analyst, Technical and Derivatives at Angel Broking. Thank you for joining us, Sameet. Key support and resistance levels that you're looking at for Nifty.
See, as you rightly pointed out, Nifty has been maintaining its high bottom formation since last 3 to 4 months. It's been a spectacular rally that we have witnessed from the low levels of 7,900, 8,000 in a span of 4 months. So Nifty has been maintaining its strong upward bias since last 3 months, and it is now continuing its strong upward rally. So we would expect continuation of this rally towards 9,600, which is the next milestone that we expect Nifty to achieve in probably next couple of weeks time. So that is the next level to watch out for as far as near-term resistance levels are concerned. On the low side, last week we witnessed a decent downward move towards 9350, 9360, which acted as a very strong support. And from there we witnessed a decent buying interest that pushed Nifty towards 9500. So as far as support levels are concerned, 9350 and 9400 would act as a very strong support, and as I said, 9600 is the level to watch out for.
So it's interesting that he's mentioned 9600 as the level to watch out for, which brings me to what's happened in the options market today. Starting off with the fact that we are maintaining ourselves above 9,500. We've seen a spike in the open interest for the 9,500 put, as you can see here. Otherwise, it's been a very quiet day of trade. That brings me to maximum open interest, which now lies in the 9,300 put. And on the other hand, it's still 9,500 call, but there is substantial build-up in the 9,600 call. So, Sameet, as you can see, we're looking at 9,500 with the maximum open interest, and that's the call. But there is a little bit of building up in the 9,600 call. How would you interpret this data?
See, in last couple of days, what we have witnessed is there is a decent amount of open interest addition in 9,400, 9,450 and 9,500 put options.
Right.
So what we believe is it is more of a put writing that has happened because implied volatility of those strikes have shed.
Right.
So we believe that this is more of a put writing, and that would act as a very strong support. So as I said, 9350, 9400 would act as a very strong support. And as far as this expiry is concerned, we expect, as I said, Nifty to head toward 9600.
Okay.
So as a trader, I would advise traders to take a punt. One can take a punt by buying 9500 call option, which must be trading around 50-55 rupees.
Right.
So the maximum risk would be around 50 rupees, and we expect, as I said, Nifty to head towards 9600. So one can take a buy with a stop loss of 40 to 45 rupees.
Right.
Would be a premium, and on the higher side, we expect a decent appreciation of at least 90-95 rupees.
Okay, so Sameet, what would your call be on the Nifty Bank then? A similar count?
Yes, Nifty Bank has been underperforming since last 3-4 days. It has been maintaining its sideways trend, wherein the range is slightly narrow now. 23,000 has been acting as a very strong resistance, and the low side 22,700 has been acting as a very strong support. But as I said, we expect Nifty to surpass 9,500, 9,550 quite soon and head toward 9,600. So we expect some contribution from banking index as well.
Right.
Today, if we see, ICICI Bank has managed to break its important support level of resistance of 305 on a closing basis.
Right.
So we expect some contribution from ICICI Bank, so that will lead Bank Nifty toward beyond 23,000. So as a disclosure, we have been advising our clients to buy 23,000 call option Bank Nifty, and we expect the Bank Nifty to move toward 23,150, 23,200.
Right. So Shraddha, that brings me to the big Nifty movers of the day. What are we looking at with respect to gainers and losers?
Clearly, Tata Steel has to be the stock of the day. Rally of as much as 8.2% on a closing basis. Of course, you had the company reporting better than EBITDA, expected EBITDA numbers of 6,900 versus an expectation of close to 4,500. Plus, you had the pension deal, which paves way for ThyssenKrupp joint venture. So basically, not only Tata Steel, we also saw other Tata Group stocks like Tata Motors, Tata Power, and TCS, which were sitting on gains of above 1%. But coming back to you, Samit, I want to know what your call on Tata Steel is.
See, honestly speaking, we have been quite upbeat on this stock since last 3-4 days. We have already witnessed a decent profit booking in this stock from higher levels of 500, and this stock was somewhere around finding a strong support around its daily 200 moving average, which was placed around 430. The stock moved around this strong support for at least three to 4 days, and day before yesterday we witnessed a decent breakout from a resistance of 444 along with substantial rising volume. So that was the key factor that we observed in Tata Steel, and we expected Tata Steel to move towards 475. It has crossed our target levels, but looking at the momentum and the kind of price and volume activity that we witnessed today, this stock has a potential to move beyond 500. We expect Tata Steel to head towards 510, 515 probably over the next couple of weeks' time.
All right. Coming back to the Nifty movers, on the losing side, we had Tech Mahindra with a loss of nearly 3%. Cement counters were trading weaker, so you have ACC and Ambuja Cements also giving up more than 1% each. Bosch and Yes Bank were amongst the other top Nifty losers. But HUL ended almost flattish ahead of its earnings. What are we expecting?
Yeah. So, you know what? The street is working with about a 4% growth in its revenues. That's been more or less discounted for. Now, when it comes to the volumes growth, we're looking at a very, very wide range, anywhere between a minus 1% to a positive of 1 to 2%. And this, of course, we're looking at about 2% price hikes as well. With respect to margins, once again, the street is split when it comes to the ad spends as well as raw materials and the impact on margins. And net profit is likely to see a slight dip of around 1.6%. But most of the analysts are also suggesting that there could just be a flat movement when it comes to their bottom line. On the whole, we're not expecting fireworks from HUL, and as most analysts would say, that a lot of this has already been priced in. The big negative would be if the volume comes into the negative, in the negative. But we're also looking at Bajaj Auto's numbers. We are expecting a decline of around nearly 10% in its volumes, but that's as far as fundamentals are concerned. Samit, you have a call on Bajaj Auto and M&M. If you can take us through that.
Yes, from the automobile space, we are quite upbeat on M&M and Bajaj Auto. If we talk about Bajaj Auto, it's been consolidating since last couple of months, and in last 2 weeks, we have already witnessed a decent recovery from low level. So technically speaking, the stock has already given a breakout from its congestion zone. And if we talk about levels in the near term, then we expect Bajaj Auto to move towards 3150, 3200 over the next few weeks. So we would maintain our positive bias on Bajaj Auto. Any dip would be a buying opportunity, and the base has now shifted higher towards 2900, 2950 for Bajaj Auto. As far as levels for M&M is concerned, clearly this stock has been consolidating, and a couple of weeks back we witnessed a decent price volume breakout from its multiple resistance zone. So looking at the broader degree chart structure, we expect M&M to continue this northward rally. We expect 1400, 1430 levels probably in the next couple of weeks time. Any dip would be a buying opportunity. 1350, 1320 seems to be a very strong support zone.
Well, I think the HUL numbers are out, so let me just take a look at that. And that is going to be taken as a very, very big positive for HUL, considering the fact that we are going with a number of 1 to 2%. If I can actually take a look at these numbers, sure. So we're looking at your EBITDA margins expanding by as much as 90 basis points, as you can see here. That again is a big positive, considering the fact that we were expecting an increase in raw materials costs. They are looking at a volumes growth of 4%. That's the big takeaway, and that is going to be the reason why we may see a positive opening in HUL. But we'll just wait for more numbers to come in. For now, the numbers look good. But when it comes to the other numbers as well, is there anything else that we are watching out for tomorrow, Shraddha?
Agam, as far as Nifty companies are concerned, we're watching out for, as you mentioned, Bajaj Auto. You have Bank of Baroda, all numbers also which are going to be reported tomorrow. So again, that could have some impact on the Nifty PSU Bank Index. So we need to watch out for that. But that apart, you also have Capital First. That's a stock we need to address today. Took a knock of really 5% after Warburg Pincus sold about 20% stake in the company in a single block. Buyers are not known to us yet. So that was one of the stocks that was buzzing in the mid-cap space. Agam, are you going to take us through all the other mid-cap moves?
Yes, absolutely. So again, we're looking at a little bit of a reversal from what we saw when it comes to market breadth in the broader markets. We're looking at just one gainer for two losers, and Shree Cement tops the list when it comes to losers. We're looking at a decline of 5.4% there. Symphony, of course, reacting to its earnings. Edelweiss Financial also declining to a certain extent. Shilpi Cables, this is not unusual. We have Capital First and Procter & Gamble is also declining considerably. GMT Auto, on the other hand, has gained nearly 17%, followed by Seat up 9.5%, Tata Steel up 8%. We have Avanti Feeds, KRBL and JBF Industries also gaining to a certain extent. And speaking of mid-caps, Samit, you also have a call on Just Dial, and there's one more that you have. Dish TV, right. So if you can take us through those.
If we talk about Just Dial, this stock has been consolidating around its strong support zone of daily 89 EMA, which is placed around 500, 490. So the stock consolidated around this support for at least 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and today we have witnessed some good positive traction in this counter. The volumes have picked up substantially during today's session. So if we look at the price and volume activity, the stock has managed to give a decent upward rally today itself. So we expect continuation of this rally. Our near-term target would be around 545, 550 for Just Dial. Any minor dip towards 515 would be a trading opportunity for momentum traders, and one can now keep a stop loss at 500. That would act as a very strong support zone. As far as levels for Dish TV is concerned, this stock has been consolidating in a range after undergoing some price-wise correction from the levels of 110. 90, 92 seems to be a very strong support, and in last 3 days we have already witnessed a decent recovery from low levels. Today this stock has managed to give a decisive breakout beyond its resistance of 100, which has been acting as a very strong hurdle of late. So we would expect continuation of this rally. 106, 108, these are the next levels to watch out for. On the low side, 97, 96 would act as a very strong support.
Well, finally, we did have a couple of IPOs open today, and with respect to subscription, so there was an InvIT, that is the India Grid InvIT, and the other one was of course PSP Projects, but not very good subscription on the first day, right?
Absolutely, Agam. Just about 2% for India Grid Trust, and PSP Projects was subscribed about 8% till 3 o'clock. So yeah, relatively muted numbers even for the first day, given the way some of the other IPOs have done. But yeah, right, we need to wait and watch. That apart, also remember IRB InvIT fund list tomorrow, so do keep an eye out for that one. And that brings us to a wrap on today's edition. Thank you for watching.